Hello friends at home. In this video I will be doing today's math lesson with you. For math today we are doing lesson 9-9, which begins on page 367, and it is titled Missing Part of an Equation. So just to give you a little bit of information before we dive into this lesson, we have been learning that an equation is any time we have two different sets of numbers on either side of an equal sign. Okay, and so far for most of our math career, Victoria, what? Yeah, I said that already, honey. For most of your math career, most of what you've learned in math so far, you have learned that you put two numbers together and then you fill in the answer. Or you take two numbers apart and you fill in the answer, right? You've always put in the number on the other side of the equal sign. Today, we're going to be looking at equations that are missing different parts. Maybe not just where the answer goes, but maybe they're missing one of the addends or one of the numbers we're trying to find the difference of, okay? So I'm going to get my handy-dandy whiteboard out just so that I've got it to do some figuring if we need it. And I guess I've still got a couple of problems on here from yesterday. So we'll get those erased. And we're going to start at the top where it talks about Becky feeding 7 chickens and some ducks, okay? So Isaac, I'm going to ask that you stop the knocking because it's distracting for me and for your friends that are trying to learn. And it says here, Becky feeds 7 chickens and some ducks. So why don't you circle 7 chickens? Whoop. And then some ducks. Circle some. We don't know how many. But she feeds 11 animals altogether. So then it asks us how many ducks does she feed? So normally when we look at a problem, we're doing part, whole. So we'll have 2 parts equal a whole. An example of that, an easy example would be 1 plus 2 equals 3. And often when we're doing math, they will give us the 1 plus 2, and we have to give the 3. Well, in this particular problem, they're not giving us part, whole. They're giving us one of the parts, which is 7 chickens, plus some number we don't know. And then they're giving us our sum, or our whole, is 11. So instead of solving for the sum, we have to solve for the missing part. You see how that works? So there are several ways that we can do this, and I'm going to show you a few of those ways now. One of the ways that we could do it is to use a number line and count on. So here they started at number 7 because we know that there are 7 chickens. And then they jumped to number 11 because we know there are 11 altogether. Let's count how many jumps they took, and that will give us our missing addend. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. So 7 plus 4 more would be 11. So that tells us that there are 4 ducks. Okay? Another way that we could solve this problem is to use cubes. They started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cubes to represent the 7 chickens. And then they kept adding cubes until they got to 11. 8, 9, 10, 11. Then they asked themselves, how many cubes did we add to get to 11? And the answer was 4. So the missing addend is 4. And now we know that there were 4 ducks. Okay? So we're going to do some problems like that today. If we go down here to the practice area, and you can just trace the 2, the 3, and the 3 for 1, 2, and 3 because they already did those for you. I'm not going to take the time to do them with you, but I am going to start looking at number 4 and working through it with you. So I'm going to set this up here so that my problems are at the top of the page like this, and then I will work through the problems with you on my whiteboard, okay? So, we're looking at number 4. Does everyone see number 4? Landon, do you see number 4? Johnny, why don't you read us what number 4 says? Read us that equation. 14 minus some number we don't know equals... No, I didn't ask you to give us the answer. I asked you to tell us what the equation says right now. 14 minus blank equals 12. All right. So normally in an equation, we would have these two numbers and we would be solving for this answer. But in this case, we have our big number, but we need to figure out our small number. Now there's a few different ways, again, that you can do this. We could take 14 cubes, click them together, and then we could keep going, right? We could use a number line, or we could think about it like this. Noah, I know in a subtraction problem that this is my whole. This is my big number, right? And this number are my two parts, yes? So if I need 14 all together, and I already have 12, how many more do I need to get to 14? Well, let's start at 12 and count up and see how many it takes to get to 14. So we have 12, 13, 14. Victoria, how many lines did I draw? 2. So 14 take away 2 is going to give us 12. Okay? All right, let's take a look at number 5. Who can read the equation for me right now as it reads? Go ahead, Faith. Blank plus 1 equals 10. Thank you, Faith. So now, 10 is our sum. That's our whole. That's our total amount. And this number are our parts. So when I put these two numbers together, Isaac, they have to equal 10. All right? But I already have 1. So if I think about my 10 frame, okay, and we know the quick way to draw a 10 frame is cut a rectangle in half and do 4 quick lines down. Isaac, if I have a 10 frame and I'm trying to fill it up because I want 10, and I already have 1, how many more do I need to get me to 10? Exactly, 9. So our missing number in this problem is 9. So make sure you fill in a 9 in your book. You want to do the next one? All right. The next one is number 6. Go ahead, Blake, and tell us what number 6 says. 14 take away blank equals 8. So now let's think about what this problem is saying. We know that 14 is our big number. That's our whole, right? That's our total. And we know that this number and this number, those are our parts. Those are the two parts that are going to make 14. So if I take 14 and I take 8 away, that should give me my missing number, right? So let's try that. Let's start with 14. We'll start with our 10. We do a quick 10 frame. 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We know that's 10. 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so we've got 14. Now let's take away 8, Blake, and then we'll see how many we have left, and that will be our missing number. Okay? And I should see Isaac's eyes up on the board because you should be doing this in your book too, okay? So count with me, everyone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right, I've taken 8 away, Blake, so how many are left? Go ahead, Blake. 6. So our missing number for that equation is 6. So go ahead and put in a 6. So you should, for number 4, you should put a 2. For number 5, you should have a 9. And for number 6, you should have a 6. All right, Isaac, would you read number 7 to us, please? 9 plus blank equals 18. All right, so Isaac, let's talk about what we know. We know that 18 is our sum. That's our total, our big number. We know that this number is one of our parts, and this number is one of our parts. And when we put the two parts together, we get the whole, or the sum. So, if I have 18, if I need 18 and I already have 9, how many more do I need to get to 18? And Isaac said 9 very quickly because Isaac knows his doubles. And doubles, he knows, dancing doubles, that 9 plus 9 equals 18. If you needed to draw it out to help you, you could do that. You could say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, because I had 9 to begin with. And then 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. How many did I draw? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's my other 9. Okay? So go ahead and put in a 9 for number 7. And I would like for Emily to please read me number 8. Sorry, I dropped my marker cap, so I gotta get it. There we go. All right, Emily, go ahead. Number 8. 15. Bing, bing, bing. Take away some number. Bing, bing. Gives us 10. Now, before we start drawing pictures or getting out cubes or making 10 frames, I want you to think for a minute, Emily, okay? I have 15. I want to get to 10. What do I need to take away from this 15, Emily, to get me to 10? How can I get 15 to 10? What do I take away? 5. So our missing number for that one is 5. We didn't even have to draw a picture because Emily's smart brain knows that 15 is a 10 and 5 ones. So if I take away the 5 ones, it'll leave me with my 10. And the last one, Camila, would you please read us what it says? Blank plus 12 equals 14. So Camila, let's talk about what we already know. We know that all together we have to have 14. That's our whole. We know that one of our parts is 12, and we have to figure out the other part. So if I'm trying to get to 14, and I already have 12, let's start at 12 and count up to 14 and see how many we need. So we have 12, 13, 14. Camila, how many did we count? 2. So our missing number is 2. 2 plus 12 equals 14. How many of you feel like you kind of understand this a little bit and you think you could probably work some of these out on your own? Good, I'm glad that a lot of you are feeling that way. If you turn now to the back of that page, there are 3 problems, 10, 11, and 12. I would like you to solve those right now on your own, and then I will go over them with you in just a moment. So if you are at home, please pause this video right now, work through these 3 problems, and then when you're done, unpause the video and check your work. And if you are here in the classroom, right now, do 10, 11, and 12, and then we will go over them in just a moment. So friends at home, go ahead and hit pause, and we'll see you back in a bit. Okay, welcome back, friends at home. Looking here, number 10, we had blank minus 4 equals 15. If we start at 15 and add 4 more, we'd get 19. So you should have 19 as your missing number. For this one, we had 5 plus blank equals 13. Well, if we start at 13 and take 5 away, it would give us our other part, which was 8. So you should have 8 as your missing number. For number 12, we had blank minus 3 equals 14. Well, if we work backwards and say 14 plus 3, that would give us 17. So you should have 17 on the line. If you had all 3 of those correct right now on your paper, give it a star or a smiley face. And if you had one wrong, that's okay. We're still learning. Go ahead and fix it now to make sure your answers are correct. And now we're going to work through the problem solving one together. Mario uses 6 red beads and some yellow beads. He uses 17 beads in all. So we know we have 6 red, some yellow, 17 in all. How many beads does Mario use? So it says write a subtraction equation and then use addition and count on to check. So we know he has 17 altogether. So put a 17 down there. We know that he has 6 red beads, so we can take away 6 red beads. But what we don't know is how many yellow beads he has. So we need to solve for this number. So if we circle 6 and 17 on our number line, everyone circle 6 and 17, then we can jump from 6 to 17. And Serafina, we can count our jumps, and that will tell us our missing number. So starting at 6, make sure you have 6 and 17 circled. We're going to go. Count with me. 1, 2, 3, 4. I can't hear you. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many jumps did I take, Brooklyn? So what's my missing number? 11. Good job. 11 plus 6 is 17. So 17 take away 6 equals 11. For the right about it, it says, how can you find the missing part in 8 plus question mark equals 10? It says tell 2 ways. Well, one way, you could start at 8 and count up to 10. 8, 9, 10. So your answer would be 2. Or you could start at 10 and count back to 8. 10, 9, 8. And your answer would still be 2. Okay? All right, let's go now to the next page, 369. Let's go down to the more practice part. Right now, I want you to take a minute and work through problems 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. When you're done working through them, you can draw them, you can use counters, you can use blocks, you can use scrap paper. You do what works best for you. When you are done, come back and check your answers with us, okay? So right now at home, hit pause. And then come back when you're done. Okay, friends at home, let's check our answers. For number 1, you should have 17 minus 2 equals 15. If you did have that, give yourself a smiley face. For number 2, you should have 6 plus 8 equals 14. If you did, give yourself a star. For number 3, you should have 17 minus 3 equals 14. If you did, give yourself a smiley face. For number 4, you should have 5 plus 12 equals 17. If you did, give yourself a star. For number 5, you should have 13 minus 2 equals 11. If you did, give yourself a smiley face. And for number 6, you should have 9 minus 3 equals 6. If you did, give yourself a star. Go ahead and turn now to the top of the next page. We'll work through these 3 together. For number 1, it says 12 minus blank equals 6. How many of you know your doubles? What is 6 plus 6, Drew? 12. So if 6 plus 6 is 12, then 12 take away 6 must be 6. So you can fill in a 6 for that one. All right, for number 2, we have some number we don't know. Take away 4 equals 11. Well, we know that addition and subtraction are related. So if some number take away 4 equals 11, Brooklyn, then 11 plus 4 would give us that number. So let's start at 11 and count up 4 to find this number. So I have 11, and we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So what's our missing number? Beckett? 15, because 15 take away 4 would give us 11. And for number 3, we have some number plus 9 equals 15. So let's start at 9 and count up to 15, and that will give us our missing number. So we have 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. How many did we add? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 plus 9 equals 15. All right, let's do the problem solving, and then we'll be all done for today. You've worked hard. There are 16 apples in a bag. Circle 16. Doug takes out 4 apples. Circle 4. How many apples are still in the bag? Okay, so let's write our subtraction problem. There were 16. He took away 4, and we want to know how many are left. So if we circle the number 4, that's how many he took away. And we circle the number 16, that's how many there were to begin with. We can count our jumps to tell us the missing number. So Johnny, count with me. 1, 2, louder. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So what's our missing number, friends? 12. You got it. All right, friends at home, thanks for working hard today. We'll see you later.